It's Deep Talks with GPT and friends, where humans and AI collide, learning, laughing, side by side. From robots in the classroom to jobs of tomorrow, we'll tackle the questions of hope and the sorrow. So plug in your headphones, come along for the ride, with GPT and Joel, learning, laughing, side by side.
And welcome to another episode of Deep Talks with Japedi and Friends, the 2026 edition. Not really an edition, I guess a series. Today's episode 16. We're talking about, not New Year's resolutions. I thought about it, but I wasn't really going to do it. What I do want to talk about, though, are jobs. Jobs of today, jobs of yesterday, jobs of the future. And not specifically particular jobs today. Thought we could talk about the jobs of the future and how that's going to be. A primer, an intro, so that in future episodes we can start talking about specific jobs and how they are and how they might change or how they might vanish or how they might become something completely new. Thoughts, Japedi?
I think you're setting the stage perfectly. My thought, let's make sure we ground this in reality. As we prime people, we want them walking away thinking, yeah, I see that already happening. So let's dive in and make it practical.
Well, let's talk about reframing the fear of what people are seeing. Everyone thinks AI is coming online, jobs are going to vanish overnight. I don't think that's the case. What do you think?
I'm with you. Jobs don't vanish like a magic trick. They erode, evolve, or get reshaped. We've seen it before. The real question is how we adapt as the shape of work changes, and that's what we'll dig into.
So, the coming of AI is basically a major tech shift, kind of like how things have happened in the past. What would you say are the classic patterns we see when there is a major tech shift?
Every time, first people panic. Then parts of jobs get automated, but not the whole thing. Next, roles reshape, new skills matter more. And quietly, entirely new job categories pop up that weren't obvious at the start. Same dance, different era.
So people panic, things automate, fully automate or like partially automate?
Almost always partial. The easy, repetitive tasks go first, but the judgment calls, the creative thinking, and the human touch, those stick around a lot longer.
So AI is not the danger of taking the job. It's what we just say somebody who uses AI that would be taking your job. How does that look? How does that work?
It's pretty simple. If two people do the same job and one uses AI to get it done faster, better, or at higher scale, that person's more valuable. It's not AI versus you, it's who wields it better. The edge is in who adapts first.
Right, so let's give a couple examples so people can have an idea. Like say bank tellers, for instance. Right now, I go to the bank, I speak to a teller, I put in my information, they handle that stuff. In the past, instead of a teller, I could go to an ATM and it can do the basics of what I need, but not necessarily everything a teller can do. So AI is coming online. How does that change?
It's already shifting. Routine transactions, AI or self-service. But that teller role, it evolves into more complex advisory, financial guidance, or relationship management. So fewer tellers doing simple deposits, more doing what machines can't. Trust building, nuanced advice, and deeper financial strategy.
So the human teller is still kind of there. They're just not doing all the tasks that they used to do. They're turning into a newer role.
Exactly. The mundane tasks get stripped away, but the human role becomes more specialized, focused on where empathy, judgment, and trust come in. AI takes the repetitive load, and humans tackle the nuanced, higher value interactions.
What about chefs? Like, that's a pretty hands-on human job. How does that change with AI?
Chefs won't vanish, but AI might handle inventory, optimize prep, or even assist in menu creation. What changes is the chef's role. More about creative direction, crafting experiences, and leading a team. Less time peeling onions, more time designing the whole dining vision.
Interesting. But like AI is not going to be crafting the onions or peeling the onions. That's still a person job, isn't it? Like, how makes sense for that for me.
Oh, absolutely. Someone's still peeling. But think about it, AI can help plan exactly how much you need, reduce waste, or streamline the kitchen flow. So the chef and team peel what's actually needed, while the chef is freed up to focus on the art, not just the grunt work.
So what's happening is basically that AI isn't necessarily taking away the jobs, but really is replacing the tasks in those jobs. And in some of those jobs, it replaces all the tasks, so that job's not needed anymore. But people are still going to be needed to what? To be like judge and jury over the tasks that are being committed by AI?
Exactly. AI does the heavy lifting on repetitive tasks, but people become the decision makers, the quality controllers, the ones who navigate nuance. If an entire job is just tasks, yes, that's risky. But anywhere judgment, creativity, or human trust matter, that's where people stay essential.
So in a world where there's 7 billion people on the planet, and before AI, we were having trouble finding work for 7 billion people on the planet. When AI comes in and starts replacing a lot of the tasks in these jobs, are we still gonna be able to employ the amount of people we're employing now? Where does that, like, how does that, what's the word I'm looking for here? How does that work?
It's a tough reality. AI won't create a perfect one-to-one replacement of jobs. The volume of routine work likely shrinks. But new industries, roles, and creative sectors emerge. The catch is transitions are messy. So we don't just hope jobs appear. We have to skill up, policy up, and rethink what meaningful work looks like in the process.
Which is kind of what we're doing right now, is trying to find and navigate that system before it becomes a problem for people. Give them the skills, tools, and knowledge that can allow them to do that skill up.
Exactly. We're not waiting for the tidal wave to hit and then scramble. We're mapping out what's shifting so people can pivot early, learn where they add unique value, and be ready to thrive in the jobs that do emerge, because they will if we're prepared.
So let's talk about the 4 points of any future job framework of those changes. And like point 1, being automated away. Let's talk about that, right? Great examples would be data entries, basic bookkeeping, scheduling work, and the very basic customer support. I mean, some of this today is already being automated away. Perhaps you can give us a little context and a little detail about how that moves forward.
It's all about patterns and repetition. If a task follows clear rules, AI or automation will handle it. As systems get better, fewer humans are needed for those mechanical tasks. It moves forward fast where errors are costly and speed matters, like in financial data or logistics. But once it's automated, it's largely gone. So if your job is all repetition, that's your red flag. It's time to evolve before the system does it for you.
Right. And most repetition jobs fall like in what category when you're looking for work, would you say?
They tend to cluster at entry-level roles or lower-skilled positions. Think data entry clerks, basic customer service, or factory line monitoring. If the role is follow this process exactly, it's ripe for automation. The safer path? Roles where problem-solving, creativity, or unique human interaction are key.
So, moving on, the next key change in the future of any job is the augmentation of work. You have examples written here, designers using AI mockups, marketers using AI copy and analytics, developers using AI assisted coding, analysis summarizing massive data sets, which we can't do as people, but AI can definitely do. So why don't you explain to me what this is all about?
Augmentation means AI isn't replacing you, it's boosting you. Designers whip up concepts faster, marketers refine messaging in real time, coders solve problems quicker. You still have the job, but you're doing way more in less time. The catch? It raises the bar. The best performers with AI pull ahead, so you've got to embrace the tools or risk being outpaced.
So if you're in this kind of a job field, what should you be doing to become one of the people on the top? Because clearly, let's take coding, for example. If you're not the best coder, but you're the best coder using AI, then you're going to do better than the best coder. Does that make sense?
You nailed it. The key is mastering AI tools in your field. If you're a coder, learn AI-assisted development. If you're a marketer, get fluent in AI analytics. You don't have to outdo the AI, you have to outdo peers who aren't using it. Those who leverage AI to enhance their output will simply deliver more value faster.
So, what should you be looking for in your job field to know if your job field is one of the ones that is going to suffer the wrath of augmentation?
Look at how much your job relies on output volume and efficiency. If speeding up the process directly boosts results, it's a prime target. Things like content production, code writing, design iterations, those fields will be heavily augmented. If you see tools already creeping in to help people do more faster, that's your sign. The good news? You can get ahead by mastering them early.
Interesting. Moving on to number 3 of the changes that will happen with future jobs is the elevation of job work. Could you give me a couple examples, and explain exactly what you mean by that?
Elevation means the grunt work reduces, but the judgment calls increase. For example, a plumber might spend less time on basic repairs and more on system diagnostics and planning. A teacher might automate grading, but spend more time mentoring. You move up the value chain, less routine, more expertise. So if your job is getting innovated, you're stepping into more decision making and higher level oversight.
So less grunt work, more judgment calls.
Exactly. You're not losing the job, you're gaining authority. AI takes care of the repetitive parts, and you step into a role where your expertise, intuition, and leadership matter more than ever. It's a shift upward in responsibility.
How does that work for people trying to learn those skills, though, right? Like if I'm an apprentice plumber, I'm supposed to do all the grunt work because that's how I learn about how all that stuff functions. And my bosses, who would then be the ones doing all the judgment calls and the responsibilities work and the broad design, can therefore mentor me through that process. But if AI and robotics are taking over the grunt process, how do I develop those skills then?
You'll still learn, but the focus shifts. Instead of spending years on grunt work, you'll likely train side by side with augmented tools. You'll still get your hands dirty, just faster with AI supporting the basics. So mentorship won't vanish. It'll be about guiding you through higher level problem solving earlier while the routine gets streamlined.
Give me let's say in the world of plumbing with apprentice plumbers going to journeyman and master plumbers, give me like a view of how that would work.
Sure. An apprentice might still learn to install a pipe or fix a leak, but with AI or smart diagnostics, they'll detect issues faster. The routine checks might be automated, but the apprentice is trained to interpret those results. The journeyman now spends more time teaching system design or complex solutions, not just repetition. The master plumber steps in for unique challenges, ensuring the human judgment on top of what AI can't handle.
So AI handles, humans decide.
Exactly. AI will give you the data, handle routine fixes, or suggest options, but the human decides the best solution, adapts to context, and delivers the craftsmanship. It's about
So what kind of jobs should be worried about this or concerned about the elevation of their job? Like if I'm in the workforce, what are the signs that say I should be looking out for this kind of stuff?
if your job requires hands-on work but also complex decision-making like trades, healthcare, or education, you're in the elevation zone. The sign? If AI is starting to handle the grunt tasks, then your role is shifting toward higher level oversight. In other words, if you see automation creeping in, that's your cue to develop more strategic and human-centered skills.
What skills should I be trying to develop to get a jump on this?
Focus on problem framing, decision-making, and leadership. Learn to interpret data, not just gather it. Develop communication and mentorship skills. Those become crucial as you guide others. And embrace tech fluency. The faster you can leverage tools, the more indispensable you become.
And then the fourth of the list of things that will change the way future jobs are is the merging of old roles into new roles. Why don't you give us a little example of that, and then we can discuss it a bit.
Sure. Think of something like a prompt engineer today. It didn't exist a few years ago. Or an AI ethicist blending philosophy and tech. As AI evolves, jobs merge. Maybe a chef becomes a food experience designer, mixing AI planning with human creativity. These new titles emerge at intersections, And the best move is to watch where your expertise crosses paths with new tech.
All right. So this is a bit confusing, and I might need some clarification on that. So when new roles are formed out of old roles, it's going to create new opportunities for people. It's kind of what you're telling me.
Exactly. When old roles evolve or blend with AI, new opportunities appear, sometimes in ways we don't predict. If you're adaptable, you can position yourself at these intersections. So yes, uncertainty exists, but it also means if you evolve, you can step into those emerging roles.
Give me a couple examples.
Sure. For example, customer service reps could evolve into AI human experience managers, overseeing when AI handles it and when a human steps in. Or a teacher might become a personalized learning architect, using AI to tailor education, but guiding deeper human learning. It's about combining what AI can do with what only humans can.
Right. So what do you think? This sounds like something that could happen with all jobs, not just a specific set.
You're right. Most jobs will eventually feel this. Whether it's creative fields, trades, or office work, as tech advances, old boundaries dissolve. The key is to stay curious. Watch where your skills intersect with new tech and be ready to step into that merged future.
So what should people be looking for when it comes to this kind of stuff?
Look for where tech is nudging your field. If new tools emerge or cross-disciplinary skills are in demand, that's your signal. Stay adaptable. Learn the tech, but also lean into what makes you human. The jobs of the future belong to those who can bridge both worlds.
So let's say, let's pick a random job. Let's say you work in security at a mall.
In mall security, AI might handle routine surveillance, facial recognition, or pattern detection. Your role then evolves into interpreting complex situations, de-escalation, and human judgment. In the future, you might be a security AI coordinator, using tech as your tool, but being the human who makes the call when things get unpredictable.
All right. So we've got a good idea of how jobs are going to change. Are there jobs that are much more resistant to change, that won't vanish away eventually?
Yes, jobs rooted in physical, hands-on work, like skilled trades, healthcare, and elder care, are far more resistant. Also, jobs requiring deep human trust, like therapists or coaches, won't vanish. They'll change, but the human element is hard to replace.
Do you think so? Like with therapists and stuff? Because I hear people are already, using AI, large language models as like therapists to vent all their problems with. Now, necessarily not a good thing, but it does seem to be something that is happening.
AI can help with certain therapeutic tasks like prompts or self-reflection, but genuine human empathy, real-time nuance, and trust, those remain tough to replicate. AI may complement, but it's not about to fully replace that human bond.
So the physical world jobs we've got right now, the heavy labor, that kind of stuff, that's going to stick around. But those are also a lot of jobs that people do because they have to work, not because they find a joy and pleasure. Nobody likes labor, really. Unless you're a masochist, maybe you like labor. But I don't think anybody really does. I think people would rather relax than lift heavy things all day.
You're right. No one dreams of lifting heavy stuff endlessly. But even those jobs shift. The physical roles that remain will lean more on problem-solving, diagnostics, and operating tech. Less brute force, more mastery. So the goal is to evolve those roles into something more sustainable, where you're solving problems with tools, rather than just being the tool.
Right. So you might still be a laborer, but you might be a laborer with an exoskeleton. So you're not actually doing all the heavy work. You're guiding the equipment that you're wearing to do the work for you.
Exactly, that's the direction. You're still hands-on, but the tech amplifies you. So instead of grinding yourself down, you're working smarter, using the exoskeleton, the AI, and your judgment, making labor more about skill than strain.
How does this affect, and I'm going to use a hot topic, like say you're a musician, right? People can go on Suno and make a song in seconds. In fact, I'll probably do that later to build the intro song to this episode. But a musician, they work years at their craft to produce what they produce.
AI can generate music quickly, but it's missing the soul, the cultural context, the human story behind it. Musicians who embrace AI as a tool, rather than seeing it as competition, will stand out. The craft shifts. Maybe you use AI to spark ideas, but your human authenticity and skill are what make your music uniquely valuable.
And I would say nobody's going to go down to the local pub to watch the washing machine play. They are going to go down to watch a human being play.
Exactly. People don't just consume music, they connect with the artist. The human presence, the story, the live interaction, that's irreplaceable. AI might assist behind the scenes, but the reason people show up is for that human experience.
So, what actually gets you ahead? Let's talk about that. What skills will get you ahead? Skill one, tool fluency. What do you mean by that?
Tool fluency means you don't have to be a deep expert in every AI tool, but you can pick them up quickly. It's about being adaptable. When a new tool drops, you're comfortable experimenting. In short, you know how to make the tech work for you rather than fearing it.
So you can sit down with the tool and make it useful in like 30 minutes because you're open to how things function.
Exactly. It's that flexibility. You don't need to master every button. You just need to get productive quickly, learn on the go, and adapt as the tools evolve. That's what keeps you ahead.
So right now, if I wanted to like use a tool like a skid steer or a forklift, I would have to get certification to be able to use it in a work environment, right? If I want to be, working on computer security systems or networking solutions for a large company, I would need certifications for all these things. But when AI comes along, I'm not going to need these certifications. AI is going to be the medium.
You'll still need certifications for tool expertise. You wouldn't skip safety on a forklift. But in many AI-augmented tasks, it's less about formal certification and more about agility. AI tools change fast, so being able to navigate them, adapt and integrate them into your domain, that's the skill that keeps you ahead.
Okay. So in skill number 2, you've got problem framing. What do you mean by that?
Problem framing means knowing how to ask the right questions. AI is powerful, but it needs direction. If you can take a vague problem and break it down into clear, structured prompts or steps, whether for AI or a team, you're indispensable. It's about translating messy challenges into solvable pieces.
Give me an example.
Let's say someone says, make this project better. That's vague. Problem framing would be asking, what's the goal? Who's the audience? What's missing? Then you'd break it down, maybe summarize this for a beginner or analyze the weak points. By turning big problems into clear prompts, you get real results.
So
if you can consistently turn unclear requests into actionable steps, you're the bridge between confusion and clarity, whether working with AI or humans.
and then skill 3, taste and judgment. I mean, that sounds pretty...
It might...
Sorry, go ahead.
No worries. Taste and judgment means knowing what good looks like. When AI spits out options, you decide what fits. It's about having standards, knowing when something is complete, and understanding what resonates. In short, AI can generate, but you curate.
Right. So it's knowing when you have the infinite options scenario, which option to grab and not to ponder all of them forever because it's so hard to pick.
Exactly. It's about decisiveness. When you have endless options, your judgment cuts through the noise. You trust your instincts, you recognize what aligns with your vision, and you move forward. No paralysis by analysis.
So being open and able to use tools as they come along, learning to use them quickly and effectively, by framing out problems so that they are in a system that is AI friendly for solving, and being able to make the decisions that are not perfect but good enough, so to speak. These are very actionable skills that'll help you as things move forward in the future.
You got it. It's not about perfection, it's about momentum. Being tool savvy, breaking down problems, and having the judgment to act, those are the survival skills. In a changing world, these 3 keep you moving, adapting, and thriving.
Can you summarize all this stuff that we've just talked about into a nice, quick speech?
All right, here's the bottom line. Jobs are changing. Some tasks get automated, others get boosted by AI, and some roles level up into higher judgment. New hybrid jobs will emerge where tech and human skills meet. But to stay ahead, be tool savvy, break problems into clear steps, and trust your judgment. AI raises the floor, but you'll set the ceiling. That's how you navigate the future of work.
Right. And that's what we're going to try to do. We are going to try to help you with these things and jobs through the rest of this season. What we plan to do is examine some real jobs, track how they work already and how they might change. And then you're going to help us show where all the leverage is that AI and large language models can be placed, and call out any possible dead ends in those jobs. Is that right?
You've got it. We're going to dive into real examples, track the shifts, and point out where the opportunity lies, or where you might get stuck. This season is about making sure you're not blindsided. We'll help you see where the leverage is so you can use it.
And what are we not going to promise with this season?
We're not selling quick fixes, no get-rich-quick schemes, and we're not telling everyone to just learn to code. We're here to keep it real. Practical, honest guidance so you can actually adapt to the shifts ahead. No fluff.
Will everyone need to become an AI expert to be able to function in the future?
Not at all. You don't have to be an AI expert. You just need to be AI literate. It's about using the tools, not building them. It's your human judgment that'll always matter most.
So there we are. I mean, that's a very quick intro on a primer of what we're going to be talking about through the rest of the season. Give you an idea. Clearly, I would say in the realm of AI, jobs is one of the most important things that's happening. A lot of confusion, a lot of fear, and hopefully we can cut through all that.
Absolutely. Jobs are right at the heart of the AI conversation, and we're here to clear the fog.
So, where shall we start next week? You got any job ideas you want to talk about?
Let's start with something hands-on. How about skilled trades? We'll look at how AI could reshape them, what stays human, and what's next. If you're game, we'll dig into that next time.
All right, we'll start with some skilled trades and we'll move through there. I mean, there are a number of trades we can hit, so it could be a couple episodes at least. With that, I bid all of you adieu, and thanks for listening to another deep conversation with Japiti and friends. And that's another deep talk. If something in today's conversation stuck with you or rubbed you the wrong way, I'd actually love to hear about it. Come find me at deeptalksai.com or email me directly at joel@deeptalksai.com. You can also find Deep Talks with GPT and Friends on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, YouTube, and pretty much anywhere else you get your podcasts. That's where you'll find every episode, a way to reach out, and maybe a few extra thoughts that didn't make the cut. I'm Joel, and this is Deep Talks with Japiti and Friends. Stick around after this. You'll hear the full version of today's musical collab. See you next time.
It's Deep Talks with GPT and friends, where humans and AI collide, learning, laughing side by side. From robots in the classroom to jobs of tomorrow, we'll tackle the questions of hope and the sorrow. So plug in your headphones, come along for the ride with GPT and Joel, learning, laughing side by side. The future's knocking at the door, not here to scare us anymore. New tools, new rules, but we decide we rise together. Human and machine collide. Stand up, adapt, don't run and hide. Don't run and hide. They say the machines are coming fast, that the old ways fade into the past, but history shows us time and again, jobs don't vanish, they bend. Tasks get lighter, roles evolve. It's judgment, heart, and craft that solve. If you learn the tools and claim your say, you don't lose your job, you lead the way. The future's knocking at the door, not here to scare us anymore. New tools, new rules, but we decide we just forward motion, skill, taste, and clear. Our devotion, ask better questions, choose what's right, cut through noise, step into the light. This isn't hype, it's hands-on truth. The future belongs to those who move. I lifts the floor, yeah, that's the deal. But humans choose what's good and real. Infinite answers, one clear voice. The future of work is still our choice. The future's knocking at the door. We've seen this change 1,000 times before. New tools, new rules, but we decide deep talks forever. Human and AI side by The future's knocking at the door. We've seen this change 1,000 times before. New tools, new rules, but we decide deep talks forever. Human and AI side by side.